Hi, welcome back to Minor League Esports presented by APM Music. Tonight now, after our Premier League match, we now have Academy League. We have the Aviators versus the Sabres now in Academy League 2s. So we're looking at two of the teams on the lower side here, but welcome also my co-host here, the wonderful Merc for Hire. There's a beautiful Merc sitting over there right now. Merc, what do you think we got for tonight? We got Sabres on Aviators.
Looks like we're having a pretty good matchup tonight. I was looking over the standings, and it looks like the Aviators are up there in about 8th with the Sabres down at 17th, but every game at this point matters towards any sort of playoff standings. There's no give and take on either of these teams, so we're just going to have to wait and see how this turns out for us, Goosen.
I gotta say, and especially an Academy League team, or an Academy League here in MLE, we're looking at Diamond 3 to Champ 3 type of play, so it's gonna be fairly consistent. A lot of good touches, a lot of aerial plays, and I gotta say that it's gonna be interesting. I'm ready for a good series here. All 5 games are played, not just to 3 wins, but all 5 we're gonna play. I guess, what's your prediction, Merc? What do you think is gonna happen?
To be honest with you, I think this might be an Aviator win. I think it's going to be a close match. I think we'll see maybe a 3-2 towards the Aviators for at least the series. But there's no telling an ACAB, like you said.
Yep, we're definitely here for the ride on this one. So getting into game number 1. Waiting for the countdown. Got a face off here. Fatal versus Anthony. Icy Fatal versus Anthony coming in. Anthony wins the face-off across for Fatal. Dropping it back down onto Icy. King Icy. Pulling it down to the offensive side of the field for the Aviators. Anthony collects the ball. Brings it across for a shot. Try and put it in. Back onto the backboard. Blocked by King Icy. Anthony's pushing it to the far side. Looking for an aerial play. Possibly a pass over to his teammate, Galaxy Swordsman.
We see Icy with the ball, a little backflip there, but looks like King is going to be pushing up, looking for his teammate in the middle. No pass there, so we're going to have Anthony take the ball for an open net shot, but it was saved just in time by Icy Fatal.
Yeah, here comes King Icy, dropping it down onto Anthony for the 50. Brought back into the offensive zone by Fatal. Again, blocked by the Sabres as they put it back into the front of the net. Denied by Anthony, back onto the wall. I think he's just trying to control the ball, bring it down after he gets demoed by King. Fatal bringing it down for a shot. Swordsman, can he deny it? But he gets caught awkward in the back of the net as Fatal gets a nice strong goal here and on the Sabres with 3:56 left in the match.
We're definitely seeing a physical game here finally from the Aviators. Looks like they're starting to try and get those bumps and demos to open up some possibilities for open nets.
Gotta say here, being a Sabre myself, not supposed to be biased towards the Sabres. In fact, I think I might be a little bit biased away from the Sabres. Rooting for them to get their butts pushed a little bit too hard, possibly even close enough to lose. But it's nice to see these Aviators bring them a nice challenge. Here, as Swordsman tries to get it clear, blocked by King, kept in the offensive zone for the Aviators, trying to get a shot. Can't get it on target as Galaxy wins the 50 and starts to bring it back out onto their offensive end. Dropped for Anthony. Anthony takes control as he gets blocked back down to the Sabres end, off the post and up and into the air. Anthony tries to collect the ball. Got down by Fatal. Swordsman brings it back into the middle. Blocked by King. King keeping it in the offensive end here, trying to take it slow to the net as both Sabres are here to play defense. One stuck on the backboard though, and Fatal puts it back into the Sabres net again.
Here we're just seeing the opportunity taken by King to make that push and then push out, and it kind of looked like it gave Anthony a little confusion to give Icy that open net.
Yeah, 3 minutes left. Looking for another face-off. King Icy versus Swordsman. King Icy wins it back over to Icy Fatal as Icy takes into the offensive end, tries to drop it into a dangerous middle position, but Swordsman takes advantage of it, pushing it back on King Icy, putting him on his heels, taking the boost away from them here. Anthony gets a nice pass off of the corner, putting it back down to the middle, pushed to the side by Fatal. Swordsman puts it back in on the pressure, dropping it into the middle of the field. Anthony doesn't take the shot though, he gets a nice fake on it and tries to maintain some strong defense as he keeps it up and over the net and out and away from the dangerous the dangerous house zone here for the Sabres. And they're trying to take a shot. Puts it nice, soft, up and over, and into the back of the net of the Aviators. Sabres get a goal. 2:34 left. Down 1 goal for the Sabres. Up 1 for the Aviators.
Just gotta love to see the little fake out there for a little pop and then a little small float down into the net for the Sabres.
Oh yeah, the mind game can definitely come into play, especially here in Academy League, when maintaining a good mindset and the confidence to be able to take that ball down the field when you know you should be able to. But not let those fingers waver on the controller. Definitely the most important here is Anthony gets a nice block up and across. Swordsman tries to control it. Back down to Anthony, but King Icy takes possession, puts it into the middle as Fatal pushes it back and away from the Sabres players. Sabres trying to find a way up and over the defense of the Aviators. As they take a nice soft shot, a little fake, and they put it back in, tying the game 2-2 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left on the board.
You honestly love to see it, Goose, and you love to see the fakes. You love to see the little push and bumps here and there, and to tie it up here with 2 minutes left to go, anybody's game at this point.
Oh, by far. Lots can happen in these last 2 minutes here of game 1 of the series. A slow kickoff. A cross possession gets brought out by the Aviators, but the Sabres deny it. Pushing it back into the offensive zone. Again, Anthony playing a little bit of the mind game there. Loses the 50 to King Icy as Icy Fatal brings it up and over the top. Nice bounce into the high aerial middle of the Sabres defensive zone. King Icy keeps it in that area, but Swordsman tries to get it out. A nice pop up and trying to get past Icy Fatal as he does get past him. Almost gets a shot back off the backboard of the Aviators. A shot by Anthony, put into the back of the net by the Sabres here. Wonderful goal. Minute 29 left. Momentum is now an unfortunate touch indeed by the Aviators. They lost the momentum to the Sabres here.
Here we have another kickoff with Anthony and Icy pushing that out. Looks like a favorable Sabre kickoff, but once again, it's back out. Oh, Galaxy's up, making the push to the corner with Anthony there. Galaxy out in the middle for hopefully another shot, but King's there to push it back to the other end.
Here it comes down on the Sabres defensive end as they kind of try to get past that last defender of the Aviators, but the Aviators keep it in and keep possession on the offensive side. Icy Fatal keeping the touch down to the corner, and Anthony has to try to find a moment to try to break out past, possibly get a pass across, but he takes it in for a soft play. Icy Fatal now has to deal with it off the backboard as he decides to collect it down on the ground, pop it up for King Icy as Icy gets the touch over Swordsman. Anthony getting a nice touch back up into the middle of the arena. Swordsman trying to get a bump on the defender. Misses it, but Anthony now has to collect it a 1-on-2 defense as the Aviators take full advantage of a 2v1 situation, put another goal in with only 40 seconds left, tying the game 3-3.
You see another unfortunate scenario there with two attackers and 1 defender. Just a rough situation for anybody to defend at that point.
Yeah, Academy League does seem to be a lot of who can make the least amount of mistakes, because the players are capable to punish mistakes, to punish bad decisions. Here comes Swordsman, putting pressure in, putting the ball on the backboard of the Aviators. Aviators tossing out to the midfield, trying to get it past the last defender. Floating up in the middle, King Icy wins the aerial, dropping it back down into the middle, but the ball starts catching momentum, going back towards the Sabres offensive end as King Icy keeps it in their offensive zone, dropping it back. Anthony's got to find a way to pass this last defender here. Nice 1v1 as he pops it up and over the last Aviator defender, puts it in for a 4-3 lead, only 6 seconds left. Burke, do you think they can get another goal? I think the Aviators can pull another.
Anything's possible. It's 6 seconds, Goosen. I guess we'll see here off this kickoff. Unfavorable kickoff there for the Sabres, but it looks like Anthony was there to pick it back up, but it's going to hit the ground. Sabre win.
Nice Sabre win to start the series off. 1 game win in the Sabres' favor. 4 games undetermined. No clear momentum, no clear swing to the pendulum yet. Sabres, they've got 9 shots, but the Aviators got 8. It just seems to be a little bit more of that defense here. A little bit more of that defense for the Sabres. Happens to keep them on the winning side of this game. Yeah, for a prediction, Merc, going into
with such a tight game on this one, I think the Sabres could pull off the series win, even if it's just a 4-1 or a 3-2. But I really think the Sabres have the opportunity here. The main thing we need to see here is the Aviators need to push a little more physicality and less double commits, it seems like.
Yep, the double commits are definitely a position of this, or a point in these matches that they get punished the most. If you double commit, one player can outplay two now at this point if they get the win. However, if that double commit works, they can get lucky with it, and then they've got two people running with the ball versus the last one defender of that line. First person from the. But we'll see. We're coming into match 2 here of our series tonight. Swordsman versus King Icy on the face-off. Slow roller 50 has failed, wins the possession, tries to get a touch, and puts it into the back of the net with only 5 seconds into the game for the Aviators.
What a quick goal to see here at the beginning of a game. The Aviators are coming out, swinging hard, trying to make up for that lost first game.
Gotta say, it's nice to see the players coming out with a pep in their step, ready to roll. Fatal versus Swordsman on the face-off. Swordsman wins the ball back to Anthony for another shot on net, but he drops it as a high roller. Here it comes down to Swordsman, bringing it into the offensive end, putting it off the backboard, forcing King Icy to go up for an aerial. Use up the last of his boost. Swordsman tries to take another shot back off the ceiling. Anthony, can he win it? He keeps it in. Coming in for a slow roller, and Anthony puts it in for a 1-1 to tie it up for the series, or tie it up for the game.
You just gotta love it sometimes, the quick response from the opposing team, just making something happen off of something so small of a little minor touch.
For sure, for sure. It's fantastic seeing this here with face-off going back down to the Sabres end. Anthony collecting it, bringing it up the right side of the Sabres field here. King Icy gets the volley off the backboard, over to Icy Fatal. Icy Fatal misses the touch, but gets the demolition on Swordsman, keeping the ball here on the Sabres end, and a 1v2 for Anthony. Anthony puts it around one defender. The Aviators bring it across past the other. Swordsman caught out, thinking they had a rush, and King Icy, puts it into the back of the Sabres net, extending the lead to a goal with only 4 minutes and 9 seconds left in the match.
A lot of match left to go, but we see that, like you said, it looked like Swordsman was just caught out of position, didn't realize there wasn't a ball moving up forward. We have another kickoff here with Anthony and King with a push back towards the Sabre side with Icy with a shot, and it was just slightly wide of the net off the post.
I say the mind game here is definitely coming in strong. Anthony trying to fake out King Icy, but he gets a shot up and past the backboard. Sabres kind of caught up high on the corner here. Anthony puts off the backboard. Swordsman trying to scramble back for defense as King Icy comes down with lots of pressure. And a nice slow roller up over the top of Swordsman, sinking yet another goal in for the Aviators, extending the lead by another goal. Only
just an unfortunate position for Swordsman.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's definitely challenging once the ball gets above your head to crane your head up to try to get a look at it and try to figure out how to get that aerial down. Swordsman coming in for the face-off, or after the face-off, Swordsman coming in for the 50, putting it back into the Aviators' end. Anthony trying to put the pressure in on the ball, outplaying two Aviator defenders twice as he sinks a probably 5-mile-an-hour goal, a 12-mile-an-hour goal, a real slow roller for the Sabres, bringing a little bit of hope back for him.
Yeah, it was a great goal, quick answer, just unfortunate for the Aviators. Looked like a little panic in their step there.
Another face-off, lost back onto the Sabres side. Swordsman tries to get a 50, puts it back into their offensive side. Coming here for another 50 versus both of the Aviators as Anthony tries to get back onto defense. Fatal getting a nice touch, outplaying Anthony, trying to keep him off the ball, keep the pressure low for them. King Icy only has to stop the shot from Anthony. Swordsman tries to get a double touch, misses it. Now it's two Aviators versus 0 Sabres on defense. Icy overthinks it, but Fatal finds it right underneath the crossbar.
Just an unfortunate pinch there between King and Anthony, just for the push back, and Swordsman just out of position, trying to rush back to get back there for defense. It was rough.
Yeah, definitely getting to the ball first and getting that touch and maintaining pressure can be all it takes to win a match here in Academy League. But as the ball drops down to the middle of the field, Swordsman puts a 50 to keep it in the offensive side. Fatal on defense here, trying to get a 50. Doesn't even have to, just wins it past Swordsman, or wins it past Anthony. And Swordsman tries to pump it back out in the middle, and the Aviators push it clear out of the defensive side. Bring it back into offense. Trying to push the Sabres back into their cave. King Icy gets a 50 across to the far side of the field. Icy barely misses the aerial as they pop it down onto the Sabres side. Anthony denies a shot.
Anthony into the corner to take the ball back down with no Aviator defense. One defenseman back, finally Icy. We see him pushing out, trying to make something of it. King's up, trying to push it down to the Sabres side. Anthony in the corner, pushing it up with one defender back. He's beat Icy. It's just him on open net, and he misses it just off the post.
Here come the Aviators, bringing it back from a defensive hold into an offensive rush as they try to put it up and around the corner, trying to find their way around two Sabres defenders. But the Sabres find the open in space. They find a little bit of time to push it across the far side of the field. Now just trying to get past those Aviator defenders, Aviator offensemen, as the Anthony pulls it across on the far side, going for a long aerial all the way across the field. All he has to do is beat King Icy, and King Icy denies that shot. Swordsman pulling it across from the corner, trying to find a way to control the ball. Here's Anthony, gets stuck in a 2v1. Swordsman gets back, bringing it across as Fatal, pulling a mind game a little bit on Anthony here. Here comes King Icy, pulling it for a 50, trying to keep it in the offensive zone, but Anthony staying tight to that ball, dropping it down to Swords for Swords to shoot, and just over the top of the net.
Yeah, we see Anthony here in the corner going for that aerial dribble again. He's been pretty persistent with trying to get it up in the air to try to beat these defenders out. Swordsman with the bounce back out to the center. Open net for Swordsman if he can finish it off here. Just an unfortunate touch there. We're seeing a lot of pressure here from the Sabres trying to push it into the Aviators in. Another demo there from Anthony on the Aviators. Another shot on the net, missed there. Anthony to shoot out, pass it out. Looks like Swordsman's going for a demo. Anthony with a push up, going for that aerial again, in for a shot off the defender of the Aviators.
Swordsman barely finding the time to push it past his Aviators and sinking that last goal, leaving it back down to a one-goal game with very little time left. We've got 18 seconds to score another goal for the Sabres to find themselves back into the match.
There's a possibility for another goal here on the kickoff.
Light 50 off to the side, but King Icy brings the possession back onto the Aviators' offensive side. Winning the 50 against Anthony and putting it back into the net. 8 seconds passed. Another goal for the Aviators, bringing the lead back to 2 goals. It is 5-3. It looks like the Aviators are trying to sink this one down. Open up their wings and take off the runway with another win.
Just an unfortunate 50 there on the goal line. We've got about 8 seconds left. Let's see if they can get one for the road or the Sabres here with 5 seconds.
And the Sabres just trying to keep the ball alive, trying to get one for the road. Trying to pull a little morale goal. Swordsman keeps it up. Anthony keeps it up. Looks like we're playing a little bit of ping pong, but the ball gets dropped. A win for the Aviators. Oh boy. 2 games in, 3 to go. What do you think so far, Merc?
Well, we saw a lot more physicality, it felt like, and more discipline there from the Aviators for sure. Looked like they were just trying to capitalize on mistakes on the Sabres end.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, now with the momentum here on the Aviators, the total of with the Aviators only having 7 shots, the Sabres had 13, but they just couldn't find the back of the net. I think what the Sabres definitely have to do here, they can find a way to get past these defenders and to not double commit and not overcommit on this ball. They can definitely find a way here to bring home a win for the Sabres. But the Aviators are doing a phenomenal job of keeping things consistent, keeping them simple, and really clamping down on what they know best, and that is putting the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely. It's always tough to see when your lead shots at one player, 10 shots just themselves, just disappointing for their feelings, but we know they can pull it back, and we've seen it before. So we just got to watch here to see if the Sabres can pull out a win on their own, another win for themselves.
Coming into game 3, starting off here, we now have a quick face-off from Galaxy versus Fatal. Fatal wins it over. King Icy coming in for an aerial, tries to take the shot down, but Anthony denies. Putting it on the far wall, Anthony takes it down for an offensive stretch of his own. Pass trying to get over Fatal. Fatal denies it back over to Swordsman. Looks like we find ourselves in a bit of a ping-pong match. King Icy trying to get it past the Sabres defender, but... Sorry, King Icy trying to get it past the defenders. Anthony putting it back down and across the Sabres front. But now he's got an open field and low boost. Can he get a goal? He puts it into the back of the Aviators net. Bringing the goal home for the Sabres. 4:33 left in the match.
Not sure, but it looks like Anthony might have gone with a car change, with that body style change. It might be something to peak that confidence.
Oh yeah, change of, what is it? Play, sorry, what is it? Look how you feel. If you look good, play good.
Absolutely.
Sabres trying to find it home here as they get it past the Aviators defender, put a second goal in. 4-18 with a 2-goal lead. The Sabres look like they might have found their groove. They might have found a way to play.
I think this is a good difference for us. The Sabres leading by 2 with just less than a minute played.
Gotta say, Mark, is it a little weird seeing the Christmas presents shoot across the screen?
Absolutely. Here we are in September, nowhere near December yet. But it's Christmas early so far for Anthony.
Yeah, he's trying to find every present he can as he delivers the present to Swordsman. For Swordsman to take a wonderful aerial shot down and into the net, releasing that Black Phoenix. Here we come for another face-off. 4 minutes left. Icy Fatal versus Anthony. Dropping it down onto the offensive side for the Aviators. Looking to get it away from the Sabres here. The Sabres have all these threatening touches, all these threatening positions covered. As it's a bit of a mind game between Anthony and Fatal. Anthony outplays it, puts it onto the crossbar. Denied. Almost put him an Aviator player, but it breaks off of that post. Flying into the defensive end of the Sabres here. Swordsman takes it off the backboard. Puts it down into the middle. Held in the corner by Anthony. Fatal trying to find a way to break it past that Sabre defender. Here comes King Icy, blocking it back, up and off. Here to control it, a 1v1 versus the Sabre defender. Tries to put it up and over. Galaxy Swordsman denies. Anthony bringing it in for another aerial going down their offensive side of the field. Gets a bump, but we've got 2 Aviator defenders to beat. Fatal brings it up and over. Dropping it down for King Icy. King Icy puts it into the offensive corner. Trying to push it to the middle. Icy Fatal takes a shot, blocked by Swordsman. Here Fatal drops it on Icy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We had a little double commit there from the Aviators, it seems like. The Sabres now trying to get their footing back.
They're definitely trying to, looks like the Aviators doing a wonderful job rotating and trying to keep away from those double commits, but it looks like they're bound to happen once and again. As they push it down into the front. Swordsman tries to keep it, but loses it to King Icy into the corner as he tries to keep possession. King Icy brings it into the back of the net of the Sabres. Taking a goal for the Aviators with 2:23 left. Down 1-3 to the Sabres now after this goal.
Still plenty of time here in the game to see what happens between the Sabres and the Aviators. The Sabres just need to keep playing the game they've been playing and hold out the Aviators right here.
Here comes Swordsman coming in with a 50 off the face-off. Trying to put it past, but Icy Fatal finds a way to get it past both the Sabre defenders and put it into the back of the net, shrinking that goal differential from 2 goals to 1 goal. Just under half a game left. Burke, what do you think? Can the Aviators pull it ahead?
After what we saw in the last match, I do believe the Aviators can pull ahead here, especially with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. That's a lot of time left in a Rocket League match.
A slow little 50 off the back wall. Put it off the post for the Aviators. Aviators put it off the opposite post. King Icy trying to bring it to the middle of the field over to Icy Fatal. But he keeps control. Keeps it bouncing back and forth as Fatal takes a shot and sinks it in. Tying the game 3-3 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds again left in the game.
right there, we see that there was little. Anthony thought the ball was going to keep moving, but the Aviators stayed right there and made sure that they kept that shot on net with the low boost pressure going on.
We come for another face-off. Anthony versus Fatal. Fatal wins it back on the Aviators' side. Swordsman to deny it. Anthony just barely misses the clear, but dropping in for King Icy versus Swordsman here on the defensive side. Anthony picks up the ball, starts going down the field, brings it past one of the Aviator defenders, almost popping over the second, dropping it for Swordsman, and Swordsman sinks it in, bringing the goal back up on the Sabre side. Up 4-3. 1:46 left after this goal.
Seeing a lot of offensive pressure here from the Sabres, trying to make sure they get it back against the Aviators. Especially with that touch, it looked like the Aviators were scrambling back after the save, but just couldn't make it back in time.
Comes Anthony, defending the ball, trying to get a nice aerial to the other side of the field. Low boost as he gets bumped by an Aviator player, dropping the dribble, but King Icy puts pressure on him, forcing him to push it up and off the backboard. But it looks like the Aviators can't quite get a touch on this ball that they want. Swordsman putting the pressure on, accidentally popping it over to Anthony. King Icy putting it back down onto the Sabres side, trying to get a goal off of them as they try to maintain that pressure. King Icy with the shot, barely saved by Anthony off the post. Back over to Anthony in the middle, bringing it down the field. Anthony loses it to King Icy as King Icy tries to get the pressure on Swordsman here. Swordsman's got to bring it out. King Icy gets the demolition on Anthony, and Anthony can't get back from spawn, and the ball rolls in for the Aviators, tying the game again. Another tie, 4-4 with a minute left.
Yeah, we just see that physical play come out from the Aviators there, and it just looked like the Sabres were unprepared for that, and then the spawn just took too long, and Anthony couldn't get back to the ball in time.
Yeah, these demolitions definitely look like a pivotal point of these matches now, getting in each other's heads, trying to force each other to make mistakes so that the other team can capitalize. Icy Fatal barely misses the aerial on it. King Icy bringing it across to the middle. Another demo from Fatal. A slow shot from King Icy, but Swordsman gets back in time to pull it back onto the offensive side, hopefully. A team bump from the Sabres. With slow down play. Anthony trying to control it. Trying to bring it up and over. 50'd. Ball off the ceiling, and Swordsman collects. Trying to keep it in the offensive side for the Sabres here. Drop down onto the Aviators. As these Aviators try to bring it back down home for another goal. Trying to get up that lead. Up on the lead. Trying to pull it in. Another shot by King Icy. Off the crossbar. Down and outside the front of the net. Anthony trying to defend it. Trying to push it in to the far side of the field. But the Sabres have control in their zone. 10 seconds left. Looks like we might be going into overtime.
And we absolutely are going into an overtime, Goosen. Let's see if the Sabres can pull this out. We have a kickoff between Swordsman and King Icy. Pushed out to the middle. We got Swordsman running back from boost. King with a shot on net. Oh no, we have a rule 1 of our teammates with the Sabres. Anthony trying to get it past him, moving up the field. We have a demo on Swordsman from the Aviators. We're leaving an open net. Anthony trying to make something happen here for his team to try and pull this out in overtime. And we got a save off of Icy with Swordsman up in the air. Anthony with a shot, possible shot.
Icy Fatal collects it on the backside for the Aviators. Trying to find it down, trying to bring run home, bring up the series. But Swordsman denies it on the right on the goal line. Here's King Icy, brings it across to Icy Fatal. Icy Fatal back over to King Icy. The Icy boys are trying to find a way back into the middle, trying to get the Sabres to slip up. Trying to pull one home as the Sabres bring it down to the offensive end with only 2 defenders to beat. Demoed by Fatal. Swordsman tries to take the shot, gets it up and over Fatal, and gets the win in overtime with 56 seconds of overtime play. The Sabres find a win, bringing the series to a 2-1 in favor of the Sabres.
What a play by Galaxy there. Honestly, for him to make sure that he was in position and ready for that, even though Anthony was destroyed by the Aviators, the smoke screen just honestly blinded them to the shot that was coming in from Swordsman.
Now it looks like we got a little bit of a reverse on the shots, though. It looks like taking more of a careful shot in these series, a lower shot level or lower level of shots happening in these matches. The Sabres only had 8 shots. Now the Aviators with a player that has 10 shots and the one that has 6, totaling up to 16. That's 16 shots. It's a lot. It looks like they should sneak in. The more shots you have, the more you should be able to score. But it seems to be if these players are slowing their game down, they're able to focus and put that shot where they want it. They're able to put it into the back of the net.
honestly, Goosen, it's almost a quality over quantity. Just because you have the quantity of shots does not mean they're the quality of shots. So it's not equaling out to the goals that they need here to pull out these wins. I mean, 16-8, that was double the shots, but yet we only have 4 of those in the back of the net for the Aviators.
Yep, Sabres definitely stepping up their defense, especially for this one too. With 8 saves, that's respectable. The Aviators unfortunately only had their 3 saves from that match. But we're going into match number 4. The Sabres are up 2-1 in the series. The Aviators got to find one here in order to bring it back and to bring it home.
I think this is the most important part about here in the MLE is just every match counts and every game counts. Here we are with kickoff with Swordsman and Icy. Anthony trying to make it over there to make some sort of play to fake out. He's made it over one defender, out with another, Galaxy back. And we have a shot in from Icy with an open net, just out, Galaxy out of position.
Oh yeah, here it is. The capitalization on those mistakes. The Aviators knew exactly where they needed to be in order for that play to happen. It looks like they practiced it. Only 8 seconds in the match and they've already got a goal.
Here with another kickoff, we got King and Anthony pushing up. It's going into the Aviator side, but Icy there to collect it up, pushing it into the air, trying to get it over one defender. Anthony down there, King with the into the corner, Galaxy with a little tap to the back corner of the Aviators. Icy up on the wall, pushing out, Galaxy there to meet him. King pushing it out back to the corner.
Here comes down onto the defensive side of the Sabres, offensive for these Aviators, right where they want to be to try to get this win. Fatal tries to get up to meet Anthony on the 50, and he can't quite get there. King Icy's got to get back into the post as they possibly try to get a pass out for the Sabres. But King brings it down, back into the offensive pressure, getting a 50 off of a Sabre. A 50 from both teams up in the high part of the field. Here comes the Sabres now on the offense, trying to bring it to the middle of the field. King Icy brings it back onto their offensive side, trying to get another touch. And we're playing a little bit more ping pong again. It's going to come down to, I believe, who's going to make a mistake first. Who's going to let one slip.
We got Anthony over here with another card change to the Dominus, but he's pushing in. King with a bump up instead of out. This could be dangerous if Galaxy's there. Galaxy with a 50 towards the Aviator net. Galaxy up, looking for a shot. Out to the middle, Anthony with a shot, and we've got another goal to tie it up with 3:30 left in the game.
I gotta say, it's fantastic to see all of these capitalizations happen whenever the team can find the chance. That's a wonderful pass off the backboard, straight out to the middle, right where the ball is the most dangerous, right in front of the net. Face-off coming into 3:30. Let's see, we've got Fatal versus Swordsman. Fatal wins the kickoff into the offensive end for the Aviators here. Bringing it back down, they beat the defender. Bringing it back into the middle again for the Fatal to take a shot, and he barely doesn't get the contact on the ball. Dropping it down for Swordsman. Trying to get it clear out. Fatal puts it back on the offensive side. Trying to put it on the backboard for his teammate King. Anthony beats King, bringing it down on the Sabres offensive side. Now with a low presentation from these defenders. A demo missed by the Aviators. Fatal trying to keep control of that ball, keep possession of it to try to bring it down on the Sabres side. Here, bring it down on the Aviators here, trying to put it back into the net, off the post and in from Anthony. 2:53 left, bringing themselves up a goal. The Sabres look like they were saying, we do want to control this game. We're going to show you how it's done.
Yeah, and Anthony there with just the patience waiting for that ball to pop out of the corner. Another kickoff here between Anthony and King. We have a push back to the Aviator side. Icy just sitting there waiting. It seems like Swordsman with a great 50 back to the side. One defender back to the Aviators. Anthony up in the air for another goal. Crossbar down. Now it's saved by Icy Fatal. Anthony trying to make something happen in the middle. Galaxy pushing it out. Anthony with a shot towards net. King there to collect it. And we have the Aviators pushing back for a counteroffensive.
The Aviators trying to get the shot on net, barely not able to get it into where they need to put it. Icy Fatal puts it exactly where he wanted it. Top right corner, sinking another goal for the Aviators, tying the goals up 2-2 with just a little bit under half a game left. The Aviators, I think, have the Sabres right where they want them, right on their heels, trying to pull all that momentum back on the Aviators' favorable side, coming into a face-off again. Icy Fatal losing the kickoff back, but King is able to hold possession, hopefully. He's trying to collect the ball. Sabres take a shot. Denied by both the Aviators. Pinched down to the Sabres end. Anthony now has to collect the ball. Try to get a nice aerial off of it. Blocked by King Icy. pulling Swordsman out of position. Swordsman on his time and field open to collect the ball and try to make a play. Icy Fatal denies him trying to make an offensive attack. King Icy trying to keep it off the backboard. Anthony, a little too awkward to do anything with it, but Swordsman's able to find it there as the Aviators defenders were nowhere to be found.
Honestly, we're just seeing Aviators out of position, and the Sabres just taking advantage of that misposition on their part. Here we
By
are
far,
with
the Aviators are gonna have to find a way to. They're gonna have to find a way to cut down these mistakes, to try to find a way to capitalize on all the Sabre mistakes that they're finding here. Here we come with an offensive push, bringing it away from Anthony, putting it back down into the middle. Swordsman pops it off the far wall, dropping down to Fatal. Fatal tries to disrupt him as it works. King Icy collects it into the corner, trying to get around, but Galaxy gets that nice bump on him. King Icy bring it across in the middle of the field. Over to Anthony. Anthony gets demoed. Now the possession is left open for Swordsman to try to take a shot as he loses possession. Gets demoed. King Icy tries to get it out. Almost a shot scored by Anthony. Dropped him in the middle of the field. King Icy driving backwards said, nope, you're not shooting today. Icy trying to get another... Sorry.
No, you're good. We've just got a whole bunch of chaos going out here in the corner.
Lots of demos, lots of pressure, lots of mental game going on right now, because this is where the Sabres are up 2 wins. Am I wrong? No, the Sabres got 2 wins.
Yeah, Sabres
out of the Aviators won.
Aviators won.
The Aviators, I don't know why I'm thinking the Aviators are winning this series. It looks like they've got the control, they just don't have the scoreline. Here they come across for 50 on the Sabres end. King Icy trying to collect it, put it back down into the middle of the field. Blocked by Anthony. Blocked by Anthony again on the 50. Now he has an open field. Icy has to find a way back. King does find a way back, and he gets a nice block on it. Fatal now with control. 50 by Anthony. The ball is back into chaos right in the middle. King tries to take it in for a shot. Puts it off the crossbar. Down and out. Not quite into the net. Fatal goes up for 50, but gets beat by Anthony. 10 seconds left. Time to make a goal happen for the Aviators if they want to stay in the series here. But Fatal gets that 50 off to the right side, trying to get a touchdown across, and no players there to collect it before it hits the ground. And that's another win for the Sabres, a series win for the Sabres.
What a great performance by the Sabres here. We see 9 shots from the Sabres and only 3 from the Aviators. At least 4 saves, though, from the Aviators on those 9 shots. But to be honest with you, I don't know what the Aviators could be doing differently at this point, other than watching the double commits and overextending on the plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Aviators definitely, they shrunk the quantity and they tried to up the quality, but it looks like they got caught out of position just too many times, and the Sabres were able to find those mistakes that the Aviators were making. They're able to capitalize on those mistakes. But now, with the series being already won by the Sabres, the best the Aviators can do is, because every match win counts into the season towards the not only the series record, but every game record. Aviators got to push. They got to find the next win. Got to pull the Sabres off of this pedestal. Got to put another game in on the Aviators scorecard.
Absolutely. Anything here counts. Like you said, every match counts. The Sabres here would be trying to get at least another point towards their playoff standings, or the standings in overall anyways. Here we go, walking into another match, but let's see how this 5th and final match goes for us.
Yeah, game 5 with 5 minutes on the clock. Starting off with a nice strong face-off. Let's see who wins it. Anthony versus Fatal. Ball goes into the middle field. Looks like King is letting it play out a little bit. Swordsman tries to take control, put it onto the Aviator side. The Aviators try to break it out. They keep it in the defensive corners, away from the middle. King Icy just trying to find some way to control the ball here. As Icy Fatal backs him up. Almost gets the save, but Swordsman finds the small gap. He finds that mistake from the double commit again, and he puts it into the back of that Aviator's net.
Yeah, we just see the greatest patience there from Swordsman, just waiting and watching as Anthony was battling it out with the 2 Aviator defenders.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Those bumps, that mental game is definitely going to come into play in this last match here. Slow kickoff. Swordsman collects the ball, pops it up to the front of the field, but Fatal said, that's mine. I'm going to take it back onto your side. Passes it across to a teammate, but he fakes the pass, takes a shot, and sinks it in. Tie the game 1-1 for the Aviators.
it's always the toughest thing when you're the lone man back, because the attacker could either just pass it over or take the shot themselves. So there's just no telling what you need to do to actually defend that goal.
For sure, the angle of defense and the angle of offense are definitely different, especially when somebody has control of the ball. But Anthony tries to take it up and over, sprinkling some more Christmas presents across for the Sabres. 4:22 left, a lot of game left, with only a 1-goal lead. Sabres try to extend it, and they do. They put another goal in.
Absolutely. We got Anthony just bringing Christmas early for the Sabres. Here with another kickoff, we got King and Anthony going at it. Swordsman waiting in the back wing for the bounce off the wall. Waiting for it here again. We got Icy pushing it against the wall. Back to the middle for Anthony. Off the right into the net. Another Christmas present for Anthony.
I gotta say, Christmas in September. Not exactly what I was expecting today, but the Sabres found the traction, they found their momentum, and they're driving it as far forward as they can. They're trying to extend this lead. But another face-off, King Icy never giving up, trying to win it back. Sabres not able to exactly collect the ball, leaving lots of time and space. Aviators taking away that time and space, bringing it to the middle of the net. Sabres missing the touch on it, but they can barely get it over the Aviators, and barely get the 50 out into their offensive end. Now they've got to collect the ball, try to pull it to the front, as the Aviators deny it. Trying to pull it back down onto their offensive end, trying to get another goal for themselves and bring this goal differential down to 1.
We got Anthony here going up to the middle, pushing it out. Aviator defenders scrambling back, trying to get back to keep this goal differential only at 2. We have King going up the wall, trying to push past Anthony, going in to try to find something here past Swordsman, but a pinch out to the middle. We have another beat by Icy on Anthony here in the middle, but Swordsman up to make that defensive play. King with a shot on. Can Anthony save it? He pushes it out back to the middle with a dunk. Now both Aviator defenders are brushing back, trying to stop both Swordsman and Anthony from making some sort of play here on their net.
Yes, low boost for these Aviators here. They're a little bit lower on boost, but they're getting the rotations in. They're getting big, long rotations, trying to make sure they've always got somebody back, always somebody to be there to stop that Sabre push. Here they come. A little bit of a whiff on the aerial, but not a lot of strength from Anthony as King Icy gets it past the last Sabre defender. He's got an open net as he takes it in and walks it home for another goal for the Aviators, dropping that goal differential to 1, pull themselves back into this game. More than half a game left.
Plenty of time here for either team to make a play here. We just saw an unfortunate play there with a bounce off the sidewall.
Another face-off. Going back onto the Aviators' offensive side. Icy Fatal trying to get the 50. Can't quite get it, but King keeping a touch on it, keeping tabs on that ball, making sure he knows exactly where it is, exactly how to make a play from it. As it drops down to Fatal, who does everything he needs to keep it out of their net. King Icy on the backboard. Pushes it up to Fatal. Fatal pushes it forward. Dropped onto the hood of Anthony. Anthony tries to take it across for a shot. Trying to get a flip reset on stream here. As King Icy decides, no, I got the ball, I'm going down onto your end. Swordsman tries to get the 50. Icy Fatal takes another shot as it slow rolls across the 0 defender net of the Sabres, tying the game 3-3 with 2:06 left.
Just that unfortunate overpressure from Swordsman there, trying to get the demo and overextending, allowing the open net situation to happen there.
Yes, the Sabres definitely got fairly excited, it looks like, from getting these last wins, and now they've let their guard down. They're making mistakes, and the Aviators know exactly how to capitalize as Fatal gets a demolition on Swordsman. Anthony trying to collect the ball on the wall, pushing it in for Fatal to try to get an aerial, but drops it down to King Icy, puts it into the top middle of the field. A demolition from Fatal on Swordsman again. But no shot from King Icy, and now we've got the Aviators scrambling back to defense, trying to get back in time as Anthony can't find the home for the ball there. Bringing it back here on the Aviators' offensive side. Anthony trying to get a 50, keeps it in front, but King Icy can come back. He gets a 50 with Swordsman, dropping it back into the middle of the field. Swordsman's not going to try to collect the ball. Fakes it, making King Icy whiff, but King Icy gets the demolition on Anthony, and a touch on the ball to keep it in the Aviator possession.
We see the Sabres trying to push an offensive here into the Aviators side. Anthony up in the air with a slow roll underneath no telling if he had that flip reset or not, but King couldn't take that chance, so he tried to stay low and go up off the air with uncertainty, and it slid right in underneath him.
For sure, the Sabres are leading in shots with 7 shots to the 4 shots of the Aviators. I think the Aviators need to pull it back out of the offensive end and start forcing that ball into the middle, putting the extra pressure on the Sabres in order to get the goals in.
Anthony again trying to get that flip reset.
Defensive save, though. The Aviators are catching on to the game, and they're figuring out how to get it back into the offensive side, putting it in front, but can't quite find it. Can't quite find the home for the ball for the Aviators here. The Sabres take a pinch and put it off the backboard of the Aviators. Icy Fatal trying to get a 50 and keeps it away from the net. Dropping the ball down, back into a Sabre hood. As these Aviators try to find the clear, and they do. They bring it down onto their offensive end, but they get forced back into a defensive scramble. Almost got there in time, but Swordsman, he got the shot. He got it all the way down the field. The pinch, nonetheless, just fast enough to stay in front of Icy and stay into the night, or stay in front of King Icy and get into the net.
Just a beautiful pinch there from Swordsman. Here we go with another kickoff with 30 seconds left. Don't know what happened there. Maybe just trying to do a fake kickoff of some sort. But we have Anthony on the side wall trying to beat these Aviator defenders. He's passed one with a bounce off the wall. Unfortunate 50 there in the middle for the Aviators. Anthony back to the right side. King Icy trying to do a pinch of his own on the wall, but just can't get there, flailing about with 9 seconds left to go in here in the match with a pinch off of a Sabre defender.
Gotta say, this is a fantastic series, but with oh so little time left, the Sabres have definitely locked in another win. 4-1 in the series. 4-1 for the Sabres. Gotta say, that's a fantastic series to be taking home for the rest of the going into the rest of the season here. A little rough for the Aviators, but it happens. That one win can make all the difference as they get closer and closer to playoffs.
Absolutely, Goosen. We saw a great play, great series here, just a back and forth between these two teams. Even though the series was a 4-1, you couldn't tell that by the matches we just watched. They were very close, back and forth, constant.
Well, after that full series, after all of that excitement, stay tuned, because later we have the Dodgers versus the Rhinos Champion League game coming up next. Only a short break between here and there. But grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, go do what you need to do, but come on back to MLE.